Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Good morning, students. Hope you all will be fine. Today we will read chapter number 6, Trade and Commerce of grade 7. A country's wealth. A country's wealth is very much like that of an ordinary family. We work to earn wages which we can spend on houses, furniture, sport, cloth, travel, entertainment, and so on. If we spend less than we earn, we have money to save or to spend on holidays, new clothes, and special treats. But if we spend more than we earn, we get into debt and have to borrow from a bank or a money lender. Unfortunately, we have to pay back the money we have borrowed plus interest. For a country, the wages are called exports, things it sells overseas. The commodities we buy are called imports, things we buy from other countries. If a country exports more than it imports, it has spare money to buy more imports for development such as roads or to provide more social services such as welfare, more schools and hospitals for the people. If, however, it buys more from overseas than it sells, it has to borrow from other countries or international organizations such as the World Bank or other United Nations departments. But as its reserves of money are low, it will probably have to pay high interest rates. As we have seen, the wealth of a country came largely from its exports. Some of these are agriculture products such as sugar, rice, wheat and fruit, most of which are relatively low in value. Some exports such as iron and other metal ores are more valuable. Oil and natural gas, which are really minerals, are of course extremely valuable. But most valuable of all are manufactured products, machinery, motor vehicles, electrical and machinery and electronical equipments, chemicals, clothing and textiles, plastics, sport equipments, carpets and much more. These are valuable because although the cost of the raw materials in them may not be very great, there is a great skill and a lot of expensive machinery involved in making them. The value of exports and imports set against one another is called the balance of payments. A country which sells more than it buys, it says to have a positive balance or payment. If it buys more than it sells abroad, it is said to have a negative balance. Another important source of income for a country, especially Pakistan, is money sent home by people who work overseas. Hundreds of thousands of Pakistanis work abroad, especially in the oil industry, in Saudi Arabia and the Gulf states, where wages are much higher than they are at home. In 2001, these expatriates sent home about $2 billion. International trade. No country in the world can produce everything it needs for its people, even if it can grow enough food, and there are only 5 countries on earth that can do that. It still needs machinery, oil, motor vehicles, raw materials, electronics, and thousands of other things. Trading between countries can be much like buying or selling for a home. Sometimes in a market you may bargain, but in a shop you usually know the price and pay. Problems in the international market are Part A, the country that may want your goods may not have anything that you want, so you cannot barter or exchange. The country therefore has to buy in cash, and this presents problem. Part B, buying at home, you use the same currency in Pakistan, rupees of course. In worldwide trading, each country has its own currency and the value of this compared with other currencies change from day to day, often from hour to hour. Today, this problem is solved by agreeing to use one currency for international trading, the most common being the US dollar. Sometimes the trade is direct. Japan needs oil for its industry, but has none of its own. Saudi Arabia has plenty of oil, but does not have an industrial base producing heavy machinery motor cars, and electronic goods. The obvious answer for these two countries is to exchange goods with cash if the two do not balance. Hope you understand the lesson. Read it by yourself. Take care. Allah Hafiz.